All right, Shalom. I want to start about giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashemi, Hawashai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to all the I came out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. It's the brother Barzar from Great Millstone, Atlanta. And I have a lesson just basically going into if you love your brother, reprove him. Because there's never enough reproof and correction in this truth, sometimes you'll be around for a while, and you'll see and recognize certain things, but you will actually just hold your tongue and let the time await for the spirit to bring it out, to actually bring it out on a higher end, so that your voice will be heard a little bit better, so to speak. But if the brother is in the right spirit, any brother that you actually are dealing with, if the brothers are in the right spirit, anytime that you actually speak up and say something to that brother, he should be able to hear. All right. He should hear and con it. It shouldn't be no excuses. It shouldn't be too many explanations and, well, I had to do this and, well, brother, and but all these if, ands, and buts. It should be just, con the water. I needed that type of correction, and basically getting back to the bigger business of things, and if you recognize certain men, when the reproofs come down the pipeline and they rolling their eyes, they smacking their lips, they don't want to listen, they giving you basically that that womany spirit, then that shows you that man, he ain't got a righteous spirit on him. Not that he's not a righteous man, but he has, when it comes to the points of reproofs and corrections, that brother doesn't actually intake the proper response. He doesn't react the right way, and he has to be corrected sharply and humble, because this thing is about humility, and scriptures speak about the wiser thou art, the more humble. So when it comes to the prosperity of things, when it comes to feasting, chilling, and bringing up information and these breakdowns, we all front and center. But when it comes to correction, when it comes to actually obligations and duties, some men like to play the background. And if you sniff those things out and you see a man, then you have to talk to him, whether sternly, or you have to just let him know. But the correction should be lashed out in the form of words backed by the scriptures. And like I said, if a man actually doesn't want to hearken onto the words, then you put the scope on him. And that's the nature of a friend, because brothers on the receiving end, if you're getting God on, know that brother that actually is getting on you, that's one of the the most closest brothers that could be around you, is a brother that actually personally is looking at your growth, and he's trying to find and activate different ways of bettering you, trying to install more righteous habits in you, and him actually recognizing through his observation, him taking time out of his life, to observe you personally, and give you certain merits of spirituality that you should be built upon. So, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm gonna start with this scripture in Sirach 6:7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, right? And the word friend goes back to the word fratus, which means a brother. So if you were to get a brother in this this truth of ours, this office of being administers to Yahweh Shah, you have to prove him. And how do you prove him? You send him through the ringer. All right. When you look at the nature of gold being proven, when you look at hard assets, so to speak, diamonds and different metals, precious metals, to show and give full proof that it's the authentic pieces, is first it had to go through the furnace of adversity. It has to go through the breaking down to actually examine the components to see that it's the actual real thing, and rebuilt up. And then you have actually diamond testers. You have these different forms of testing to see if it's authentic, or if it's just fugazi, if it's fraudulent, fraudulent pieces that individuals are just wearing just to shine, not actually, getting the quality. They're just about, seeing, having the externals of it. And, you got a lot of external Israelites. They like to put on the Israelite. They like to wear it as a fashion guard, but when it comes to the internalization of this truth, the hardships, the corrections, the reprovals, the rebukes, a lot of men, they show themselves as being just hypocrites, you know, and you only know these different things by getting on a brother, and sometimes the necessary thing is to light a fire under a brother's behind. And each and every one of us need that fire constantly. It's a brother that never comes to a point where he no longer needs a fire lit under him. And that's why it's necessary for us to prove each other first and always reprove. That's the nature, and that's the essence of the word reproval. To reprove is to prove someone over again, and we all need reproof. All right, we all need to be examined over and over again, and be tried through the furnace of adversity, so that we'll be actually clean and purified. Just like this word in essence, it tells you that in Psalms 12, if I'm not mistaken, where it says that the words of the Lord are pure words tried 7 times, because when you go through the fire of trying to actually get the purest form, it has to be tried multiple times. All right, the fire has to burn it in different stages to fully remove the sediments and the impurities. So ourselves, we have to constantly get that fire burned on one another, and we have to burn the fire on one another to remove and dissolve the impure nature in our being, so to speak. So it says, and be not hasty to credit him. So this truth isn't about just giving man credit upon credit. This brother's smart. He's eloquent. He could bring it out. Hey, those are the necessary objects. That's what comes with the territory of being an Israelite. We're all very uniquely intelligent, but when it comes to the seriousness, the ugly of this truth, will a man actually stand firm when it comes to that part, that part of the truth? And here in Atlanta, in the spirit, we're actually doing a lot of challenges, whether reading more, the head, the elder head, Tazawam, he's pushing out a lot of things in the spirit for brothers to do, whether to study more, and, we push certain challenges to stay in tune with the doctrine and things of that nature. Just keeping each other lit, and, as we see ourselves progressively growing, you may see a man that's slipping, and he may be, getting a little bit behind, and that's where the eyes come into play. You see a man get behind, you have to coach him, just like a coach. If a coach is, running with the team and the team is doing laps, and you see a man getting behind, you don't just look at the man that's running fast and being all hypnotized by how these men in the front are running. You look at the men that's not keeping up the speed. All right, you keep a closer eye on them than the ones that's actually doing their thing. All right, so that those men can actually learn to step up to par, and that everything will be in full unison and spiritually fully congruent. All right, because we're a team, and as the saying goes, you're strongest, your weakest player, because those few men that's actually weak can cripple the entirety of the body. So, these brothers that come in, brothers have to be corrected sharply and swiftly. So continuing on, for some man is a friend for his own occasion and would not abide in the day of trouble. Right. So, a lot of men, when they come into the truth, they first obtain the sweet nature of the truth. And then they're a Hebrew Israelite, getting the law, statutes, and commandments, the fullness of the word, the ability to actually have access to words, divine words that most people don't have the capabilities to read, and on top of the dressing up and getting back into the fullness of your culture, the feast, the holidays, all these are beautiful aspects of the truth, but that's the sweetness. All that is the sweetness. The bitter side is the correction, the dedication, the obligation, all these different requirements, the strong rebukes, all these different things that actually make this word bitter, the waiting, which is the long suffering. All these are the forms that are bitter, and we have to actually balance both sides, because the scriptures speak about how certain men actually will step up for the occasion. So it says, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. So certain men won't abide which the word abide goes into the word abode, which means house. They won't house themselves in the spirit when trouble is near. All right. When it says that when the goings get tough, the tough get going, and you can actually, see certain men that's fully dedicated when it comes to the hell of things, and it comes through times of adversity, seeing the ones that stuck it out and the ones that jumped ship. And the thing is, in the spirit, we're not at the end yet, so it's still a lot more men that's going to get offended. Matthew the 13th chapter, the different seeds, certain men getting hook, line, and sink by the prosperities of this world and the cares of this world choking them out. Certain men that's not being rooted and firmly structured upon a proper foundation, being uprooted, and amongst other things. So, we haven't reached the finish line, and we're going to actually see firsthand and in all these different camps of men slipping and falling, getting offended and turning into scoffers, things of that nature. But, we have to keep and hold fast and walk in the fear and also in the humility so that we can stick it out unto the end. So it says, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. Verse 10, again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. Right, so that's the feast. When brothers get together on the new moons, or brothers may get together after camp, and they may cook and, on the downtime of things, just speak casual conversation, commune with one another, joke and laugh. And, Jake loves that time, and of course we all as Israelites, we love to get together and fellowship, but some men are just there for that time, and that's why which Apostle Gabar pushed that spirit out as a leader. You can't be in that kiki ha ha spirit all the time. You got to learn how to play the background and just watch and observe. This isn't a thing where we just always just kicking it. This isn't a hangout. This isn't a boys club. This is a true obligation that we all have to fulfill. Scripture says, work out your own salvation with fear and in trembling. And the word companion goes back to the word company. Com is with, and pani is bread. That's where you get the word panera. So some men, is around when the table is full of bread, chicken, the subs, the sandwiches, and the goods, the baked goods, the cakes and cookies and all that. But when it comes to the roughness, to the foxhole, jumping in a foxhole and staying down, getting to the miry grunt work, certain men, they don't like that aspect of the truth. All right, it says, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction, but in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be again against thee, and will hide himself from thy face, Separate thyself from thy enemies, and take heed of thy friends. Right, so even if, you have a friend, which we're all very close in this truth, we still have to always take heed to one another, because the scriptures speak about how every man will supplant. You got certain men that's looking to get the one up being in this truth, because of the perks of things, just like Nate and IUIC, these ISUBK, these other groups, they stick around for so long because the truth comes with so many perks, and they love the goodies that come with the truth, and they're willing to compromise the fullness of this doctrine, basically retract the name of the Lord, shut it up just because of gain, man, filthy lucre. So continuing on, it says, a faithful friend is a strong city, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure. So a brother is a strong defense, and a lot of times a brother may give you that protectionary hedge by just getting on you, so that you can realize where you fall weak at, so that you can actually do the necessary things to actually build your fortitude, build your spiritual walls, pray more. Because right when you get cussed out, what's the first thing you react? I got to get better. It makes you fully aware of your weak points, because you see yourself being exposed. And if a brother sees sees the exposure, then that means that it's you're very, very open. You're too open, and you have to close yourself, and shut your doors and work, man. Work to defend yourself, because Satan, as a left hand energy, he's looking to shoot us down, man, through our weak points, through the chinks in the armor. So a brother is a faithful as a faithful friend is a strong defense, and it says, "He that found such a one hath found a treasure." So brothers are comparable to treasure, all right. And who will reject a box that's full of rubies and sapphire, emeralds, top treasures? Nobody. All right, so you can't reject the words of a man, whether it's coming sincerely or whether it's coming hard. Just take it, all right, because it's for your better, and it's betterness, and it's for your growth. So it says, "Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is unvaluable." Right. Verse 16, "A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him." Right. So a brother that's full of faith, he's fully down with you. He's comparable to a medicine of life. He's compared as invaluable, a defense, and also a treasure. So when you even think of the nature of medicine, the best medicine is the most bitter. All right. And you have to take it. Right. When you take it, your face grins, so to speak. You have that real ugly look upon yourself when you take the medicine. But in the internal aspect, it's healing you. Is cleaning your blood. Is re-optimizing your organs. Is building you up from the inside out. So a brother that actually gets on you and corrects you and sets that fire on you, he's actually helping build and structure you. And through what? Instruction. This word is you structure one another through the instructions of this word. All right. And like I said, it has to be in the form of reproofs and corrections, so the brothers know the adamancy and know the sternness of the truth. Just like it speaks about Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is an austere man. And a lot of times Yahweh Shai spoke words in authority. It said he spoke as one that had authority, not as the scribes. So when he would talk to Peter, he would talk to the disciples, he would get on them